Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hanging with Howie. Tonight, we have, as usual, our usual cast: Bill Marsh from Maryland, John Cawley from Boston,
Hey, Howie.
and Jay Brannon from Temecula, California. And our special guest tonight is Tony Lackie. He's the newest member to the Disc Jockey News TV crew. He'll be doing some interviews and so forth. He'll have an interview show. I don't know what night. Do you know what night you're going to be on?
I think Tuesdays is what I was talking with John about.
Great. Now, you made a post that I think could help because this is really geared, to the newcomer, and with the vast amount of experience we have here, you ask about traveling because you're going to be driving, you said 8 hours for one gig and staying over. They're going to pay for your lodging, and then another one that's going to be 4 hours. So tell us a little bit about that. What are your concerns?
So the first one is going to be in the beginning of October. I'm in Traverse City, Michigan, so it's kind of like the northern part of Michigan. And that one, I'm traveling to Farmington, Pennsylvania. It's about an 8.5 hour drive, give or take. They're paying my lodging. They are paying travel. They're paying wear and tear. The funds are included. My biggest concern is, I guess, little things that I haven't really thought about in terms of preparing for the event, So both of them, I'm going to be traveling because the second one is also in October. It's kind of near the end of October. And that one is on Drummond Island in Michigan, which is an island that you have to drive to a harbor, load my van, onto a ferry, take the ferry across Lake Michigan or Lake Huron, whichever. I think it's Lake Huron. And then arrive on the island and basically go to the gig, Both of them are, for all intensive purposes, like 3-day events because both of them I plan on leaving early in the morning, getting there the day before the event, and then sleeping there, waking up in the morning, and then going to the event, setting everything up, tearing everything down, staying wherever I am, and then heading back the next day. Well, Drummond Island, I'm staying an extra day to stay on the island, but that's not work related. But my biggest question is, I'm excited about it, but I'm also like kind of freaking out because I haven't done any events that are like outside of an hour and a half of where I am, So if I forget anything, or something goes wrong, it's like, shoot,
All right. Well, you came to the right place because us guys here have traveled a lot. So, Jay, hit him.
I mean, just because I've had to do these type of things where I'm going coast to coast or going somewhere. And the first rule is, if you've never done this before, what I always tell DJs is set up the gear at home and go through the pathway of least resistance to what will go wrong. And start with cables. Like I've got a wedding this week. It's 15 miles away. I'll have 2 laptops, 2 controllers, I'm literally bringing double of everything, and I'm 15 minutes away. Once I get over a certain threshold, I add a third system. So whether it's a small, tiny controller to accent the other 2, it doesn't matter. But what I think you also need to be cognizant of on this is, one, where are you staying? Can you give me the name of the hotel?
So the one in Pennsylvania, the venue is actually like a compound. Like it's one of those venues that also have places for lodging. Okay. So that one, I am staying on one of the properties that is at the venue, essentially.
Okay. I would call them and tell them that you're bringing $30,000 worth of gear. you may not be, but it'll hit them hard.
The issue
and
is
ask for a ground floor room. That way you can. That way you can
check on
your stuff in.
Now, this will go against what Howie just said a little bit. We have someone who's normally on the show who's a fan of Days Inn. My rule of thumb when I travel is I won't stay in hotels where the door faces a parking lot. And that sounds stupid, but if you've ever watched Cops, every episode of Cops, they're rarely ever at the Hilton, the Marriott, or the Sheraton. They're at a hotel where the doors face the parking lot. So if they see you pull up in your van and start piece by piece loading gear into this room, and then you leave to go get a bite to eat, all they're breaking is a door. So for me personally, I always try to have guests say, I just need a hotel where I am inside of it, so no one knows where I am when I get the gear in the room. You might even check with this venue and say, hey, is this a lockable room where I'm performing so I know the gear can stay there after the event? But to be blunt, if you're on the road, you should be with your gear. Like, you're done with your event. I'm sorry you're tired. I'm sorry it's stressful. But get that shit in the hotel room because it's your life. It's your livelihood. And that's a big thing. The other thing to do is I'd go on Facebook, which it sounds like you already did, and I'd give the specific areas, or I'd go search Pennsylvania DJ Association, say, hey, everybody, I'm Tony, and I'm going to be coming out there in October. I have a gig at this venue. Does anyone have any tips for me for this venue? Also, if I run into trouble, is there anyone that's nearby that maybe I could give a quick shout out to? Like, oh, damn, I forgot my DMX cable. I forgot my this. Oh, hey, bro, I'm right up the street. I got your back. Like, we're a great community, per this channel and these shows. And it's amazing how far you can go by saying, I'm going to be somewhere. And people go, dude, you need any help? Let me know. And all of a sudden you have access to gear, controllers, music, everything.
That's a good point.
Now, John, you've we've traveled quite a bit together.
Yes, we have. Yeah. The long distance goes. Redundancy is key. Because just assume you just get airdropped on a desert island and you can't get anything. So like Jay had said, set it up ahead of time. Make sure you have extras of everything, extra hard drives, extra cables, extra extension cords, things you wouldn't even think of. Like, oh, what if someone wrong or someone missing or fell out? Stay with your gear. I like Jay's advice on that. The gear goes with you. Wherever you go, the gear goes with. If you're setting up and you're going to be on you had the compound and then you have the island. Nothing's going to disappear on the island right away.
If you can get interior, I like Jay's idea about not having an outside door, but now you've done this several times and I have as well. If it's a large hotel and, make sure they have an elevator, then by all means.
Explore the hotel, learn the ins and outs, where you can load stuff in and out quickly. If it's all elevators and carts, bring your own dolly. Don't wait for the lobby dolly, because that was a nightmare at one time. Be able to move your stuff freely and keep it in eyesight, and shouldn't have any issues. I'm sure you'll be fine. But knowing where you go, go on their Facebook page and look at the, am I going to be on the fourth floor? I'm in room end of the hallway and it's carpeted and you're dragging 2,000 pounds of stuff. Look at stuff like that. Prepare yourself mentally before you get into it. And
is there anything that kind of comes up with travel events as opposed to like local events that I should either look out for or be cautious of, something that's more prone to happen as I'm traveling?
Let's give Bill a chance there. What do you think, Bill?
Well, I mean, I'm a big proponent of contingency plans, and so far everybody's already kind of mentioned a few. And like Jay said, I think it was Jay, reach out to some, people who might be local to the area. And like Mikey Mike, who's not with us, but in here watching, he was curious how close that is to Chambersburg, because I think that's where he is. and I was looking it up just to see how close it is to me. You're like going to be about 4 or 5 hours from me, so I'm not going to be a lot of help. But I wouldn't.
That's what Dan said too.
Yeah, I wouldn't hesitate. But like, what you're going to be close to is Morgantown, West Virginia, which is where WVU is. Mm-hmm. So there is a good chance in that area there's going to be some resources there.
Yes.
You know, between like AV companies and things like that. The biggest thing is, you know, in your travel, you're going to be going a lot further than you normally would. So another thing that I would maybe consider doing is whatever you're using vehicle wise, make sure obviously that it's ready to go, but also make sure that you're giving your gear a softer ride than normal. Just, I mean, something very simple as maybe like if you use anti-fatigue mats, put them under your controller.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like just to give it a little bit more cushion in your vehicle. You know, I keep my Pioneer case wrapped up in a packing quilt. And the reason I do that is it helps reduce the possibility of condensation.
Or as Jay mentioned before the show started, someone actually broke a part off of a brand new, what was it, a SRT?
XDJ RX3.
Yeah,
RX3. Got the big screen on it.
Broke the screen off, and it was in a road case.
Yeah, and I have a Prime too. Mine has a screen.
Yeah, and I mean, so like that's another thing. Maybe just, you know, lay some soft foam or even a plush towel over that inside the case.
I mean, just you got to. The reality is, you know, we just did the expo show. Well, the show is what, 6 hours a day,
right?
For 2 days, so 12 hours, and then the last day starts at 11, ends at 3, so it's only another 4 hours. So you're doing a show for a total of 16 hours. I spent 40 plus hours testing every piece of equipment, every laptop, every software, every piece of gear played music before it got boxed. Then I put it on a pallet and I wrapped it. Then when it got to New Jersey, I was the one that received the pallets, and one of our pallets was in pieces. I mean, pieces. Like, wow. I think the claim was about $14,000 of damage to one pallet. Now, granted, that's because we gave it to trucks, and we don't quite know where the it fell apart. But as a manufacturer, that's the prep work we do so that we can have guys show up at a show and touch a piece of gear and guarantee it works. And I think the same approach needs to be taken as individual DJs. It's no different to me. I mean, I spent 7 years running boats. You can't jump in a water taxi and run out and go, here's your microphone. My backpack right now, I did a high-end event last Friday, and all I needed was a microphone and a speaker. And I brought 4 microphones and 2 speakers to guarantee that it was flawless. Right. And at the end of it, people were like, wow, it went really well. And I was like, thanks. Like, this is pretty easy. And I opened up these 3 bags and I go, here's all the backup. They're like, you brought all that? I'm like, I needed to guarantee it worked. And the client's eyes bugged out. They were like, oh my God.
Yeah. But I mean, like, prepared.
Yeah. Like Bill said, and I didn't mention it, and Bill brought up a great point. You know, I'd get an oil change a couple of days, not the day of, but a couple of days before. I'd check the tires, maybe get them rotated. Don't get anything done the day you're traveling, because that's when it hits the fan. Don't think at 6 a.m, now's a good time to get the car washed. No, it's not, because suddenly something could go wrong.
Right.
You gotta just approach it as, this is my livelihood. I mean, you have a lot going against you. You mentioned something about a Prime. I don't even know what that is, but That's the first strike. So right out of the gate, my friend, you're kind of working at you're not giving this 100%. I can tell already. So just that because I don't know what model. I did prime what?
Bringing lunchroom toys with him. Look at that.
I didn't hear DDJ.
No information on
I didn't hear any of that. So I don't know what he's talking about.
Getting back to
the worst thing about a prime is you blow your transformer.
Yeah.
Hey,
Getting back
I
to
don't even know what that means.
Something I always do is I have the AAA Gold, and I bring one of the jump boxes with me just in case, and it saved an event a few years back for us. Yep, me too. It's well worth it. It really, really is.
200-mile free tow.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
you can get anywhere. Something else that I do is I use Google, and the reason I do is like Bill mentioned you're going to be near Morgantown. I would go look in that area and find out if there's any, like they said, AV companies or a guitar center. If you forgot a microphone or a cable or an adapter or anything, if there's a guitar center within an hour's drive and you're going to be there a day ahead of time, yeah, you're going to set up in the morning. Oh my gosh, I'm missing this. Okay, set my ways. Go to the guitar center or the AV rental. I mean,
you're doing the right thing now. You know.
Yeah. You also ask the venue if they have an in-house AV company that they deal with, and just reach out to them and say, hey, I'm going to be in town. You know, is there anything you can even let me know? Another thing somebody brought up is that MJ, actually, I think Mikey also said this. MJ from DJ and TV is outside of Pittsburgh, which is the next closest big town to where you're going to be.
Bill Jacob. Bill Jacob's up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I mean,
and
you'll have friends near you.
Now you started 2 years ago, right, Tony?
I started DJing 7, but I started my business 2 years ago.
Your business. Okay. So as you gain more experience and meet more people, you'll naturally make friends, you know, going to these different shows and different places. Always be friendly with people and make friends, because if you go back, you know, I think I can speak for, you know, the guys here. We can go almost anywhere in the country and we know somebody that we can call up and go, oh my gosh, hey dude, I'm in trouble. You know, I have this controller and the screen broke off of it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, DJ equipment, bail money, lunch,
bail money,
you know,
places to eat. I know you got that covered.
You know,
yeah, I can cover your food.
Speaking of money, I always carry not only cash but the credit cards.
Yeah.
Because you never know if it's a car problem or even a gear problem.
Cash, especially though, because you may have to grease the wheels.
Cash greases a lot of wheels.
Oh, it does. You toss a 20. Yeah. It's amazing. I've gotten to park in loading zones inside of like 4-star hotels because I've like been super nice to. It just happened a couple months ago. I told you guys I was at one of the top 2 best hotels in San Diego. I pulled in. I'm telling these 25-year-old security guards, "Hey, thank you, sir. This and that, this and that." Totally working with them. Get all loaded in. I go, "Hey guys, real quick question. Do you need my ID back now? Or I got half an hour. I got to go park. I got to get dressed. What time's your event end? Oh, it ends at 8:30. Okay, well, you know what? Just keep it down here. I'm like, you want my car keys? If you have to move it or something? Like, no, we know where you are. That's cool. You've been cool with us. I mean, I saved myself $40 for parking, but more importantly, I got to then take the elevator up half an hour before the gig and just relax instead of having to drive out, park, then at the end of the night, bring it to the loading dock, go get the car. I mean, the kindness we show to the people that can affect our lives
exactly
is 100 times worth anything. And the fact that you're asking us, Facebook and everyone else, what should I do? What can I do to prevent? I've never had gigs go south that I was prepared for. I've only had gigs go south when it was that last second, hey, do you mind doing this thing? Yeah, that's easy. I'll take it. And you don't put in the time. You don't print. You don't print all the material you need, introductions, the timeline, their music requests. You don't take your hard drives and hit file sync. Now you know this one main drive is synced to the other 2 drives. They all go in the same case. Boom, you get to the gig, you've got 3 opportunities to be a superstar. And if you have to spend a little money, I don't know, I don't need you to tell me what you're making, but if you're making enough money on the gig, if you need to invest 10% of what you're getting paid into fail-safing this, then do that. Go buy an SD card for a couple $100 that you could put into your, well, you're using the Prime thing. You probably, what are you on, an iPad? What do you got there? A Fire tablet or something? I don't know. It's probably not a MacBook Pro. I'm just saying. I don't know. What do you got? A touch screen thing?
That shade for days.
$150 machine thing? Well, that's, buy another one of those. I don't know.
Made by Hasbro.
Yeah,
no, I use a MacBook Pro.
There you go. Well,
and a couple Windows laptops. Now, the one on Drummond Island is going to be interesting, and that one I might just have to really double everything up. Because while we were here, I actually Googled the local population on Drummond Island, and it's only 1,000.
Yeah.
So
I don't think they'll have a guitar center there.
Yeah,
probably not.
They may have a Radio Shack.
Maybe.
Yeah, they might.
When they forgot.
The word didn't get back to them with their clothes.
They didn't.
Yeah.
They don't have telephone lines.
You know where? Actually, I've been to Drummond Island. Radio Shack is right next to Hollywood Video.
Yeah.
They're both still open. There's a Blockbuster right next to the Chuck E. Cheese too. Yeah, you're good.
No, it's not Chuck E. Cheese. It's Roy Rogers, right?
That's the one.
Yeah.
The one with the red light.
Yeah.
That's Jack in the Box, I thought.
Alrighty, guys.
but
John wanted us to do a 20-minute show tonight. So,
Yeah.
Tony, I hope this helped you. Do you have any final questions before we wrap it up?
No, I think you guys answered them all, and I feel good about it. So I definitely appreciate you having this be the topic.
You're going to be fine.
Tony, I could still rattle off 10 more thoughts for you. So if you want, just hit me up sometime.
Will do, Bill. And I'll probably reach out, see if I can find any DJs in the Pennsylvania area, or at least Farmington area.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And you can do that with any of us there. And hey, make friends whenever you can. And speaking of making friends, good night, friends. And if you have a topic you'd like us to cover, when this finally goes, what is it, Jay, after Easter, right? When this goes up?
Easter 2025.
Yeah, okay.
He is risen. John will let that one go, I guarantee it.
We'll be happy to cover your topic for you. Good night, all.
Night.
Take care.
Cheers and celebrate.